and welcome to my vlog, Crafting with Shuttermonkey. I'm Amanda, also known as Shuttermonkey, and I live in Ayrshire in the west coast of Scotland. Today is Monday the 11th of January and this episode is episode 9. Other places that you can find me online are Ravelry. I'm Shuttermonkey Designs on there. That's where you'll find all my knitting and my crochet patterns. I've also got them on Lovecrafts as well. I'm Shuttermonkey Designs again on Lovecrafts. On Etsy, Shuttermonkey Designs again. That's where, if I've got any handmade items that I want to sell, that's where I'll put them. I'm on Payhip. If you're taking part in any of my quilt alongs and you need the patterns, that's usually where I upload my patterns for that. Again, Shuttermonkey Designs. I'm on Instagram. The best place to find me on Instagram is using my wee Shuttermonkey page. That's the one that I use the most. I'm also on Facebook. I have a Facebook page, Shuttermonkey Designs, and I'm wondering whether I should open up a Facebook group. It would be Shuttermonkey Designs again. I might try and open that so it's there by the time you guys see this. It's just if you're on Facebook, a lot of people are on there, aren't they? And if you're knitting, you maybe don't want your family to see the stuff that you're knitting, especially if you're knitting for them, but you want other people, you want an opinion, you want to chat to other people. So sometimes a wee private group's quite nice on Facebook, isn't it? You can share what you're working on with it, or your family and your friends seeing it. So I might do that, okay? If anyone's interested, you can come and have a wee look. And the other place you can find me is on eBay. I'm Ugly Duckling on eBay, but I'll pop all these links below so you can see them. And so you've got direct links to the places that you can find me. Okay, right, where to start today? I don't really have that much to show you. I haven't actually done that much over the holidays. A lot of eating. And knitting cowls. I've knitted 2 cowls, but I was just using up scraps, leftovers for other projects, trying to clear out a wee bit. So, I'm still actually catching up with Vlogmas episodes. I know it's almost the middle of January and I'm still watching Vlogmas episodes. But there's quite a few to watch, wasn't there? So I'll probably spend quite a bit of the winter months still catching up with Vlogmas episodes. One of the new ones that I found this winter, we'll call it, I know it was the end of last year, was Bumble Stitches. Her name's Nicola. Oh, I really enjoyed her vlogs. When she went in to make those Christmas tree meringues, that's me in the kitchen, everything turns out like that. I found that quite amusing, and I'm sorry, I know you shouldn't laugh at other people's misfortune, but it was, I just thought, you usually watch these vlogs and everything turns out perfect, doesn't it? And it was just, that's how my baking turns out. But one of the things that Nicola does a lot is she does a lot of cross stitching, and she's actually inspired me to look out an old whip, which I think I'm going to try and get finished for Christmas this year. So I keep it in this wee tin. It's been in here. The best before date on this tin says February 2015, so I probably bought this in 2014. That's how long this wee project's been in here. But it's a wee Marks and Spencer's biscuit tin, and it's got wee flashy lights. I wonder if you'll see them okay. And the wee lights are still working. You can see how often I've had this out, but you just take the wee lid off. Oh, hold on. There's reindeer on the back too. But that's inside. And it's just my cross stitch project that I was working on. This is a frosted pumpkin stitchery cross stitch, and I started this back in 2014. And I laid out the grid and I put the letters on that say Christmas, but there's a wee character that goes into each square, and just a wee design to fill each tiny wee block. But the thing is, I felt when I was doing this, I did cross stitch for a wee while and I really enjoyed doing it, but it was always on Ada. But I think this is linen. It's finer. I'm not very good with cross stitch terminology and things like that. So if I've got that wrong, I apologise. But I think it's linen, and you're supposed to go over, you're meant to jump over 2 holes rather than just the one like you usually do with Ada. And I found it was really straining in my eyes. So I put it away because I wasn't really enjoying doing it. But I think I'm going to try and see if I even just did one wee block, got the C done in January. Do the next one. It would only take me 9 months, and then I've got 3 months to do the outside border right round. because it is really a really nice design. And I even bought a frame back in 2014 to put this in, so I've got everything there that I need to finish it. So thanks to Nicola, I think I'm going to try and do that. I'll just fold this up and put it away again. Something to look forward to at the end of the year if you've got a nice new decoration to hang in the wall. Maybe it'll make me get my decorations up a bit sooner. I think it was the 18th of December before I finally put my tree up. And I put on the lights and I put on tinsel, and then it took me another 2 days to put baubles in the tree because I kept looking at it and going, there's something not right. I don't know what I've done wrong. That tree doesn't look right. But after 2 days I gave up and put my baubles on. And it wasn't until Christmas Day my daughter took a picture of the cat, our cat with the tree in the background, and then she showed me a comparison for this year to last year, and I don't put tinsel on my tree. That's why it didn't look right. I usually put ribbon, thick ribbon around. That's why it wasn't right. Oh. So I might try working on that. And I've got this wee tin here. I think that's my threads for this. So I'm a glutton for buying sweetie tins and tubs. See when you're at your floss, your cross stitching floss, I'm not really sure what the proper name for this either. When you wrap it around the wee cards you get, they fit in those wee tins just lovely. Any excuse to buy sweeties with me. I bought the sweeties because it makes a good storage tin for cross stitch that I'm never ever going to finish. Well, I'll finish it this year. I will. Right, I'm going to pop that down there. Right, what else? I don't really think I've got anything else to show you that's not knitting or crochet or sewing related. So let's move on to knitting. This is what I've been working on recently. This is my, it's still in the little DPN cozy, a little love themed DPN cozy. I made that one myself. Oh, I've got to tell you who the prize winners were for the bags, haven't I? I'll do that right at the end. Oh, don't want to lose my... Right, the yarn that I'm using for this is from a company called In the Crochet Corner. There's a lovely wee stitch marker still on there, a nice wee pink one. I haven't taken it off yet. And this colourway is called Marshmallow. I've never used this company before, but this yarn is lovely. It just says Marshmallow, finger and sock weight, and it's 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. But it's lovely, and the stitch definition on it is really, really nice as well. So there we go, this is sock 2. And when I knit my socks, and also when I write up my patterns as well, this is needle 1 at the back here, it's like a triangle. That's needle 1, that's one side of your gusset. Needle 2 comes along the top of along your instep, that's the top of your foot. And then needle 3 is here, that's the other side of your gusset right now, because I'm just finishing off my gusset decreases. And then when you finish your gusset decreases, needle 1 and needle 3 would be my foot, would be underneath, they're just plain knit stitches. And the top here, the instep again, is needle 2. And when I write up my patterns, I explain that and I talk you through, and I always tell you how many stitches you should have on each needle when you finish each section. It's just in case you're quite new to sock knitting and you don't have a lot of confidence yet and you just want to double check things, but you don't have to knit them that way. If you do it in magic loop, or you want to do it in 4 double point, because I only knit on 3 and I work with a 4th one, but I know some knitters prefer to have 4 DPNs holding their knitting and the other one, the 5th one, they work with. And it really is up to you how you do it. You don't have to stick to my way of doing it. It's just, if you download the pattern, you're going to see, oh, what's this? Needle 1, needle 2, needle 3. I'm just trying to describe what I've done, how I've done it. Keeps me right as well, so I know what I'm writing down, and I don't lose the plot. I'm good at that. Anyway, this is that one, and I've got one finished. So there's the finished one. This one, I've changed it. Right, I hope you can see that. I always say this, don't I? And then I look at the big screen and it's fine. See this wee love heart here coming down the back? You can see just at the side, it's got the start of the love heart under it. And I don't like that. That's annoying me. So I've taken that out. And that's what the test knitters have got. They've got what, so it's slightly different from this. Just those 2 wee holes there, 2 wee holes there, and the same at that side above the heel flap. I've just taken that out because I would rather it just ended on a heart rather than you can see the start of the next one. So I've changed that. I think that's all I changed on it. Yeah. The only other thing I feel is as well, I feel like I need to work on my left leaning decreases. I feel slip knit is really, really untidy. Whereas my knit two togethers are always really nice. So I think I'm going to have to play about a wee bit with that. Because I feel like I look at the heel, I look at the toe of my sock and I go, one side's neater than the other. I think I'm going to have to experiment with some different increases and decreases. More so the decreases. I don't feel my increases are that bad. But anyway, that's this sock. This is currently with Test Knitters. I put this onto Ravelry just a couple of days ago, and I put it onto Instagram as well. And I was really blown away by how many people have actually said they want to test knit this. So it's with about a dozen test knitters right now. And I hope you all enjoy doing it and you can understand my way of writing up patterns. Anyway, this sock started off... Oh, this is another thing. I know quite a few of you will be taking part in the Rainbow Sock Chronicles. And the colour for this month is pale pink. But this would work for next month too. You could do it in a darker shade of pink. It would still work. But I knitted the leg of this sock last year. But it's wrong. I don't like it. Well, it's not wrong. I just don't like it. I've changed it. So what I was going to do was knit another... This is sock 2. And I was going to knit another one. Because to qualify, the rules say you have to knit 2 full socks. They have to be mid-calf length. But I've technically this year only knitted 1.5. So rather than knitting a third sock, I was actually wondering maybe I could just rip this one out, back up to there, and re-knit this one. Because I'm going to have plenty of yarn. I've still got all of this yarn left over. I would have enough to knit 3 socks. But if I rip that one out, I'm still knitting 2. I've knitted 2 socks then, haven't I? Actually, maybe I'll just knit the 3. I'm enjoying working in this pattern, to be honest with you. That's my wee tub of beads in there. This pattern has beads. I always use Debbie Abraham's beads. I think she took over from Rowan Yarns, used to sell beads, and I used to use their beads. They stopped selling beads, and I think Debbie took over selling the same type of beads. So she's Debbie Abraham's beads. She's a knitting designer. She's a wonderful knitting designer. But I think this colour is lipstick and it's size 6. You don't have to put beads into your socks if you don't want them. You can leave them out, it's up to you. Or you could put more beads in if you wanted. I like a bit of bling in my knitting. Oh, this is what else is in my knitting bag. I was trying out these swatches. I was trying to find out if I could find a different way of doing my increasing and my decreasing. Because I've used this before in another pattern and I was just trying to make it slightly different. But it wasn't working out. The stitch definition wasn't very good. So I went back to doing it the other way that I was doing it. I knew there was something else I was going to change, but then I changed my mind and I didn't change that. So am I confusing you? I'm good at confusing folk, especially myself. Right, I'm just going to pop these socks back in here. But these little, I'm calling these my String of Hearts socks because they remind me of my wee String of Hearts plant that I bought over the summer. So, and they're living in my little Emma Bridgewater bag. And this is what somebody has won in my giveaway. That's those beads in there, do you hear that? And I've got my wee crochet hook in there as well for getting my beads onto my stitch that they need to be on. So that's that done. This is the original sock that I'd planned on doing. I knitted this last January or February. But it just didn't work out. That's the one that I'd asked before. Did you think you could see the love hearts? This was very loosely based on another pattern that I've already released. I'm going to show you that just now. So this is my Sweetheart Chalet. And it's just little stacks of hearts that fall down. I've called it a chalet because it doesn't really wrap right round you. It's just really on your shoulders. So when I released it, it's not really a shawl. But it's quite good if you want something just under your coat. See here at your neck to keep you warm, because you can just tie it round like that. Oh, I've lost the side. You can just tie it round like that. And it goes on under your coat quite nicely. Keeps your neck warm. So this one was my Sweetheart Chalet. And I've actually, this is on Ravelry. It's been on Ravelry since 2012, I think. And this was a pattern. Oh, I'm showing you that back to front. I hope I didn't show you back to front the first time. So that's it now. There you go. And you can see there's little beads on there as well. So it's, but this one's slightly different. Rather than the beads, rather than the hearts all coming down, they're kind of stacked to the side. They're stacked on top. They're stacked to the side of one another. And it works quite well in the shawl pattern. But when I tried to adapt it into the sock pattern and scale it down to fit in, it just didn't work. So I've gone back to just the original size of heart that I had in here. And it's just one row of them coming down. So there you go. There's the inspiration for those socks. A kind of long way roundabout to get back to what you'd originally done anyway. But this one's on Ravelry. It's also on Love Crafts. But up until the end of February, I've put a wee discount on this. So it's reduced to £1.50 just now. It's half price. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can go get that on Ravelry. I'm not sure how I do that on Love Crafts. I don't know if I have to just reduce the price. I know how to set up promotions and stuff in Ravelry, but I'll need to look into it for Love Crafts. So it's not reduced on Love Crafts yet, but let me look into it, okay? But up until the end of February, this one's reduced. And this just takes one skein of yarn. And this was an Old Maiden Aunt skein of yarn, this one. iPhone Kiss, it was called, based in Burns Poetry. So, right, I'll pop this one out of the way. But you wouldn't believe the number of hours I've sat on Excel trying to get from there to this and then back again. And I've got 7 charts and I basically went back to the same thing I had. The number of hours that I wasted. But hey ho, it's fun. Keeps the mind active, doesn't it? I'm going to show you another couple of shawl patterns that I've got on Ravelry. I'm really sorry, I know this sounds like a shameless plug. It's not a selling channel, but I'm going to show you them. These are reduced as well, these ones. I had my autumn patterns in sale during autumn, so I've reduced these ones. Look at the colour difference in that, how much it's changed. So this is my winter snow shawl. This is a really big wrap that can wrap right round about you. And it's got the wee trees, it's wee winter trees. Christmassy trees almost. I can't even remember the name of these. Evergreens. It's got little evergreen trees there at the bottom with some snow falling in them, and then it's just this lace pattern. And it's the same both sides, and then you Kitchener stitch it in the middle. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to re-dye this. These 2 skeins of yarn were exactly the same. Now, oh, who was the yarn dyer? It wasn't Skein Queen, that's who keeps popping into my head just now. It'll be on Ravelry, all the details are on Ravelry. But this was a special colourway that she released for the Queen's Silver Jubilee. And I bought one. I actually went to Woolfest with my friend Helen and a group of other knitters from the local area. We hired a minibus and went down there. And I bought one skein when I was there, and then I realised I was running out of yarn and I bought another one online. But they're slightly different now, aren't they? They look... Anyway, I could maybe try over dyeing it. I experimented a wee bit with yarn dyeing last summer. Maybe I'll re-dye that one. But it's a nice big size. I'm going to see if I can stand up and show you. Right, you can get it wrapped right around you. Nice and cosy. See it? But this one will take 2 skeins of sock yarn. So if you've got two matching skeins, maybe you should do one row of one colour, one row of the other, or 2 rows, alternate them rather than doing one on either side like I did. It's still lovely yarn, it's beautiful. And I'm sure I can sort it out. The only other thing is the beads on here were silver when I put them on. And there's, oh, it's got a wee beaded edging as well here. Can you see that? Beads in the cast on edge, and it's got little beads in the tree stalks as well. But my beads have slightly discoloured. Has anybody else had a problem with their beads discolouring? These are silver lined beads. I'm just wondering if any of you know how to get rid of that discoloration. I never ever wash these things in a washing machine. I always just block them carefully and pin them out. Wash them in the hand wash them. I'm wondering if I maybe shove them through a wee wool wash would I get rid of that? I'll maybe try that and get back to you. Right, the other shawl, the last one. Oh, sorry, this one's reduced on Ravelry too. I've reduced that half price as well. So that's down to £1.50 as well, if anybody's interested in using up some sock yarn from their stash. Sorry, I'm making a right jipper folding this, aren't I? The last shawl I'm going to show you today is my Spring Blossom shawl. I like this one. This is the same, this is a similar shape to the, do you remember the Christmas one I showed you a few episodes ago that had the candy canes on them and the kind of Christmas village? It's the same shape as that. It's 3 triangles together. And this is a fibre space yarn. I don't know if she makes this anymore, but there'll be, the details are on the Ravelry page, exactly the type of yarn, exactly which yarn I used. But it's lovely. It's got a wee, I think it's mohair, it's got a wee bit of mohair through it. It's just lovely. Really, really pretty. And that one's great. That one wraps right round and it'll come down the front. What you see? If I stand up, can you see behind this chair? And it sits quite nice along your back. And you can get it wrapped right round the front here. Oops, come back in. Right. So this one's got lots of snow falling along the 3 sides, lots of snow motifs, and then along the bottom it's just little flowers. We're all going through a really difficult time just now in the Northern Hemisphere, aren't we? But spring will be here soon enough. We'll be able to get out and about a wee bit more, get in the garden and things like that. That'll be lovely, won't it? Brighter times are coming. Feather and fan socks. I was supposed to publish this sock pattern on the 18th of December and I forgot all about it. What an idiot. Nobody messaged and said anything to me, chased me and says, where's that sock pattern you said you were going to release? So, oh, the little sock pattern that nobody cared about. Oh, I'm only joking. But I have published it now. I remembered to do it at the end of last week. It must have been the drama with the Christmas tree. I was supposed to publish it around about the same day as I put on my Christmas tree. It was that tinsel, it just threw me and made me forget everything. But it's quite funny, there's the other one there that's blocked. Look at the difference in size. When you take them off the sock blockers and they start to shrink back down. Anyway, that's been published. That's online now as well. And what else have I been doing knitting wise? Oh, sorry. I looked out an old whip. We've had a really, really cold snap here. Really cold spell for the last couple of weeks. There's been frost, ice on the ground and lots of wee flurries of snow. The snow was quite heavy actually for a couple of days and it was lying. Doesn't often do that here, but it's nice when it does. But when you're going out for a walk to the shop to get your essentials, your hands get cold. So I looked these mittens out. All I had to do was knit the thumb and I put a wee button on the bottom. I'm not really happy with the button that I put on, but it'll do for now. Because what you can do is you unbutton that bit and you flip it over. And you've got gloves. And when you want to undo your fingers, I play Pokemon Go, so when I'm out and about, sometimes I want a finger free. So you can actually tuck all your fingers in and just have that one out if you're holding your phone and playing your phone, catching Pokemon. So there we go. I was quite pleased with those. The only thing is, see when you've got your mittens, the top bit flipped down, the finger cover bit, you don't see the lovely pattern on it because it's all hidden underneath. But they've been lying about for quite some time. Elizabeth, if you're watching this, you know my guilty secret, don't you? You know how many whips I used to have. I'm going to try and work my way through some of them. Said I'm going to do the cross stitch and there you go, finished a pair of mittens. I've got a wee bit of this yarn left over. I've got 2 wee bits here. There's a bit, I split it into 2 balls before I wound it into 2 little cakes before I knitted my mittens. So there's about 30 grams of that. It's a double knitting weight. So if anybody wants it, I can send it to you. I've got the wee tag here as well. It's Abstract Cat. It's 100% Blueface Leicester and it's in these nice purples and greens. So if anybody knits scrappy blankets or could maybe put it into a wee pair of mittens, you're welcome to it, just let me know. I did have a pair of those, see these here with the flip top. I did have a pair that I knitted years ago. Sorry, I do have a pair that I knitted years ago. But these are just little mitten versions and I didn't put a full thumb on. These are great when you're out and about. These were knitted with a possum based yarn and they're really warm. And I actually feel like when I wear these I don't need the flip top bit. And you can see, can you see that pattern okay? Because it's quite a fluffy yarn, sometimes it's difficult to see the pattern. But these are lovely. So you might even be able to get yourself a wee pair. That's the Snapdragon mittens by Isolde Teague. So you might be able to get a wee pair of mittens out of that rather than the full flip-toppy gloves. So I told you I was knitting on cowls, didn't I? Well, do you remember all the rainbow socks that I was making? I think I showed you this last time and I started making a cowl. Well, I finished the cowl. I haven't blocked it yet. I decided after finishing it and casting it off that I don't really like the cast off edge that I've used. I used this Jenny's surprisingly stretchy cast off and I think it's too stretchy. So I need to unpick that cast off and redo it before I block it because I feel it is just too stretchy up there, look. But I can't unpick it and redo the cast off because I had started another one. So I need to get this one cast off and then I can redo that cast off. But I'm at the cast off stage with this one. This one's a lot bigger. This yarn is all by Glendale Fibres and there's 10 different colours in here. But this was 10 mini skeins that I bought last year to do advent socks. So the very first colour and the last colour, I only had about 8 grams left. Whereas the other 8 colours, I had 15 grams each left. So I just knitted it all into a cowl. I've run out of this darkest purple up here. I've run out of that to do my cast off. So I went back to the start and I'm going to use this grey that's got a lot of pink through it. But this is lovely. Our yarns are lovely and soft, so they are. They're really nice to knit with. And this is what I spent most of Christmas and New Year doing. I actually knitted this red. The red section there get knitted on Christmas Day as my husband was making the dinner. I was sitting working on that red. And then in Boxing Day I cast this one on. So that weekend between Christmas and New Year where you don't quite know what day it was, I was just knitting a different colourway into this. But this one's a nice big one, and once it's blocked it'll scrunch right down nicely under your neck. And it's just 180 stitches I cast on, 10 repeats of the old Shawl pattern. 180 stitches I cast on, and then I did knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. That was 6 rows of that to give me a wee garter edge. And then I just worked old Shawl, and it's just 10 repeats of the old Shawl right round, and I've got lots of wee stitch markers on here just to remind me where I should be ending and finishing each repeat, and then I don't have to think about it or count or check where I am. It was really good working on this in between Christmas and New Year actually. A bit of mindless knitting, and I love this yarn and I love all these colours. If you're interested in any of these colourways and what I've used, I'll create a Ravelry page for this and I'll add all the details onto Ravelry. So if you think, oh, I like that one in the middle, I really like that colourway, you know what it is, okay? Right. What have I to show you now? Whizzing through this, she says, it's only been half an hour. Right. That's all I've got left. See from that wee cowl, that's all I've got left. Those tiny, tiny wee bits. There's a gram of each. So it was really good to use up all those bits that were lying about. If you are taking part in the Rainbow Chronicles and you've been buying the yarn from Leigh Family Yarns, I've been buying that and putting it away. So this was the January pack. This is the palette pack and it's all just 10 gram minis. 10 gram minis. So this is the January colour pack. And then this is the February. As you can see, I've not opened these yet or started. And this one just came this morning. And this is the March one. This is getting into peaches and oranges and apricots, and isn't it lovely? So I'm hoping to start winding these up soon. I'll obviously start with the January ones first. And I'm hoping to make this blanket here. It's the Polygon blanket by Tin Can Knits. I know I don't really need another blanket or another whip, but hey ho. After the year we had last year, I think we deserve a wee treat. I'm trying to see if there's another picture in here I can show you without showing you the pattern, because it is a paid for pattern. You can look at that, although that wee bundle of stars. It's not even stars, they're hexagons. I really am an idiot sometimes, aren't I? So, there we go. And I did a wee testing it on, a wee Polygon on a hexagon. But what I did is a double knitting weight. The pattern asks for double knitting weight yarn. So I just rolled up a wee ball and doubled up. So it's 2 strings that I'm knitting with. And that was it there. Now the only thing is that weighs 10.5 grams, just over 10 grams. But they're probably going to be fine. If not, I'll just take one round out, the very first round out, and it'll work. But that's what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to make each month, I'm just going to, those wee 10 gram mini skeins and knit them up. Because that knits up in a couple of hours. It's so quick. And if you're only doing 10 a month, so I'll get the January ones done for the end of January. The February ones I'm not planning on knitting to February. Kelly from Leigh Family Yarns has been selling the yarn in advance to make sure as many people can get it as possible, and they're prepared and they know what they're doing. Gives her more time to dye as well, doesn't it? Right. I think that's all I've got to show you knitting wise for today. So I'll get ready for the next section. And now I'm ready to move on to crochet. I haven't been crocheting much at all since I last videoed. I haven't even done my 12th advent calendar. It's still sitting at day 3. It's not really my fault. Nintendo will have to take part of the blame for this. In the previous 3 years when I've taken part in the 12th crochet along, I usually do it in the morning as soon as I got up. But I didn't do that this year. I was too busy getting up and playing Animal Crossing. It's Nintendo's fault. They shouldn't have released that game. Do any of the rest of you play Animal Crossing? Fabulous, isn't it? Anyway, enough about game playing. If you want to come to Amandaland, but let me know, you come and visit. I've only ever had one visitor on my island. She came once and it was great. Right, first thing I'm going to show you today is a little crochet basket. Okay. This was made using, I'll just show you this one in here. It is Rowan hand knit cotton, and it was crocheted using a 4.5mm hook. You want it to be quite tight. You don't want it to be too floppy and falling about. But this is I put this onto Instagram. It's just a wee basket. You can put all your craft supplies in, whatever you're working in, and you can tote it about the house with you. Carry it about the house with you, sorry. But that's it there, and it's got little handles at the side. A basket weave design on the side, because it's a basket. Now this was something that when classes were running down in Prestwick during the summer months, I only run my quilting classes from September to March, so over the summer months the ladies will come along and they maybe do just a one-day workshop and something, and it's not always sewing related, it's not always quilting. Sometimes they want to do a crochet project, learn to crochet, or they want to do learn to knitting. Learn to knitting? Learn to knit. So they'll come along. This one was actually 3 mornings they came along and they had their wee crochet baskets, and some of the ladies couldn't crochet and they managed to make a little basket. So I'm going to release this as a pattern. This is 8 inches, it's 8 inches at the bottom. And what did I use for this? It's 138 grams of yarn, so that was 3 balls that I used of the Rowan hand knit cotton, and this colourway is 303 sugar. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes so I give you the right information. You know, I'm very good at misleading folk. And then, after doing that, I made a couple more. So, this one here is colourway 372, and I used 103 grams of that. Now, it's 103 grams this weighs, but I got enough of it out of 2 balls. It's just, if you wanted to try making these, I'm going to release the pattern next month, and if you want to start getting supplies in, but maybe get 2.5 balls just in case. And if you're following Sorry Me, she's doing it's a dishcloth, 12 dishcloths. You do one every month, and the first pattern's been released. So if you had leftovers, you could use this, because it's a worsted weight, it's an Aran weight, the Rowan hand knit cotton. So you could use this to make a wee dishcloth with your leftovers, so it wouldn't go to waste. And then after doing that one, I did a smaller one. I haven't sewn any mines in yet. You can see how it's like my socks. The ends are always the last thing that get done. I haven't blocked these ones. This one here hasn't been blocked. Now, I think this one is only 4 inches across. Do I have a ruler handy? No, I don't. This one is actually about 5.5 inches across the bottom. I need to properly measure it up just because it's sitting on a board on the table. But they all fit nice inside one another, so if you're not using them, you can store all your baskets inside each other. This is just the leftover yarn and the leftover my labels, so I know how much yarn I've used and where my leftover yarn is for these projects. So I bought 2 bottles of this one for the smallest, and that was colourway 368, and that's what's left from the second ball. That's my first ball band there. You would get a wee dishcloth out of that, wouldn't you? I'll try doing that, right? I'll try making one of those dishcloths that I told you So Amy was making. If you go over to her vlog, she's provided a wee link to it. I think she's got it on her Instagram page as well. So I think I'll try doing that. See if I can get a wee dishcloth out of there. And that is the other 2 balls that I had in the pale pink basket. And that's my leftovers. So see what I was saying, maybe you should buy 3 for that, because it's quite close, isn't it? And if your tension is slightly looser than mine, you might need that other ball. You want it to be as tight as possible. I am quite a tight crochet. I'm not overly tight crocheter, but I know I tend to be on the tighter side. My knitting's okay, that's fine, but I do tend to crochet quite tightly. And I've used a 4.5, so you might find you need to come down to a 4 to do your crochet on. But test it anyway. You can test that bottom bit first and see what you think that's like. But that's my crochet baskets. That's with test crocheters just now. So next month that should be out. If you want to test crochet, you could let me know if you've got some cotton lying about. But when I blocked mine, I'm going to show you with this one. I've got these 3 here. And then I started doing another one because I made one for class, the biggest one. That was this colourway, and then I had to do another one while the class was running, because you have to show people what to do, don't you? And then that's when I had the idea at class maybe I could do a smaller one, so I've got a smaller one that's halfway through in that colourway too. See what I mean with all the whips that I have? I've got a wee sleeve board, you know those tiny wee iron boards that you do your sleeves on? Well, I popped this over my iron board, pinned it on, and then steamed it, didn't touch it with the iron, left it to cool, and then I just moved it around a little bit. Did the same. Now you could leave it for an hour or so, keep going away and coming back to it until it was all blocked and it stood up okay. And they do hold their shape relatively not too badly. But what I'm wondering, because I've got 2 of them, I might soak it in some PVA glue and water. Mix up some PVA glue and water. And apparently you can soak your things in that, you can soak your finished items in that. If it's something that, like a basket, that you want to hold its shape. And then if you soak it in the glue for a little bit, take it out and you pop it over something that's roughly the same shape. And once it dries in a wee bit stiffer and it keeps the shape. The only thing is, see if it's got PVA glue and you pull it together to hold the handles together, would it all crunch and crinkle? If any of you have tried that, go and let me know before I waste my basket. I know I've got 2, haven't I? But it doesn't. I'm not going to need the 2 of them, but I could give one away, couldn't I? Right. And just while you're here and we're talking about crochet baskets, I'm going to show you this one too. This was a more advanced basket pattern that I come up with, and I think this one could be done with some sort of stiffening to it. It was a more detailed basket weave pattern, and it was more for advanced crocheters, in case the other one, the pink one, was too easy. So, but this one has got a square bottom. Sorry, I've got loads of stuff in here. I should take it out. I've got wee gingerbread men in here that I felted and made. I've got lots of spare cotton yarn. Maybe I should be doing these dishcloths, shouldn't I? Oh, I found a wee treasure. I was wondering where that was. It's wee toadstools on there, and it's a wee It's wee stitch holders that are inside, wee toadstool. I was wondering where those were. But if I take all that out, this one's got a square base. But I would like to release this as a pattern too, but we'll do that one first. We'll do the pink version first. You can do it in whatever colour you like, by the way. It doesn't have to be pink. And then I might release that one, but we'll see how the other one goes first. But if you do like that one, but you don't like the square bottom, you could adapt it and do it in a circle. You could mix and match, couldn't you? Or you could do this pattern here. You could do it on the square base. It really is up to you. You can mix and match them. Right, anyway, I've talked enough about my crochet baskets. Let me just put all this rubbish. It's not rubbish, it's treasure. I'll just put that in there. But I've got that one there as well. That's Delphinium, that colourway. I know that because I knitted a blanket and I used this a lot. That one's the Delphinium, that's 334. And then this is a pale grey, which is 341. And then there's a darker grey. Do you know what I did with those? I made coasters with those. There's a wee Maybelle flower pattern, and I crocheted the flower pattern using this yarn, and it makes lovely wee coasters, and they're quite thick. They're nice. I've got that in my Ravelry page if you're interested in doing that. And then this blue basket is actually, just in case you like this shade of blue and you think, oh, I'm going to go and get some yarn to do a circular one. Where are you? Colourway 239. Now, I usually buy my hand knit cotton when I go to John Lewis. We can't do that just now. But I do have a wee stash of it because I think it was maybe a year and a half ago, I went into John Lewis and they had it all reduced to £2. Don't know if you can see that label. You maybe saw that earlier when I held it up. And I just bought up what I could because I knew I was doing these baskets. So that was quite a good wee bargain. But if you look online, you don't have to stick to ribbon as long as it's a worsted weight cotton. And if you can't get worsted weight and you can only get sport weight, you could double it up. Okay, right. Let's pop these out the way. And the only other thing that I've been crocheting on was this pattern here. Let me find the front page. Here it is. The Granny Ripple Blanket. I've seen a couple of people doing these on Instagram and I can't remember who they are. But this pattern is by Very Pink Knits, I think she's called, verypink.com. This is a free pattern and you can download this through Ravelry or from our website. Excuse all my scribbles in the bottom, that was just me working out what my tension would be, and because I did start off with a little tension swatch. But my tension swatch, actually, if you're going to do that, start off with more repeats rather than just the 2 zigzags. It can be a VM or it's a W, look. Because I found this stretches out more than the piece that I then worked on. So if you want to try it and you need it in a specific size, I was going for a specific size, it's not for a blanket. So that's why I wanted to see how wide so many repeats would be. But here we are. So this is what I've been working on. This is the only crochet I've been working on. And the idea was I'm just using up leftovers from socks that I designed last year. So the darker pink one there is the Helter Skelter socks. The lighter pink, the light grey is from Stielach, and this lighter pink is from Fanco. And then the grey here in the middle, the grey here was from Old Shawl. So this was all just wee bits and bobs that I've got lying about, and I thought I'm going to try and use these up. And what I wanted to do, I did have the grey. I've not used that dark grey in any of my socks yet, but I'm using that as my main colour. So I've got to do some more repeats of this dark grey at the top, and then that's it done. And then I'm going to figure out how you fill these wee, these wee bits at the bottom, these wee diamonds, because what I want to do is turn it into a wrap. It's going to be a notebook cover. So that's what I'm going to make with this. And I want to fill in those wee gaps at the bottom, because when you fold, maybe I don't have to, maybe I could line it and fold it up. It would just be in the lining. And the idea was to do some crochet along these side bits so it could wrap right. I thought it would be wider, and I did the wee test swatch and it wasn't enough. That's why I'm saying if you want to do it, if you need it a specific size, test it first. But I can crochet down the sides there, so the book cover, so it will come inside. I'm showing you this really badly, aren't I? But you want it to wrap right round inside your book. In there. And it's just a wee bit short, but I would have done something along the sides anyway just to finish it. But that's what I'm hoping to make with that, a nice wee book cover. Use it as a wee crochet journal. I was working away on this the weekend before Christmas. I was sitting in the kitchen with all my colours out and trying to plan what I was doing and doing the wee swatch. And then my washing machine blew up. It went bang. Put a load of washing in and it just, that was it, a goner. So I was frantically crocheting away in that, trying to ignore the fact that my washing machine wasn't working and I had loads of washing to do, and it was nearly Christmas, so I'd be going to get a new washing machine in time. There's loads of restrictions, so that was a lovely wee distraction. Anyway, that's all I've got to show you crochet wise today, and let's just keep blaming Nintendo for that, okay? You wouldn't believe, see if you can actually check on the Switch how many hours you've played each game you've got, and I've got a couple of the Pokemon games that I really like. And if you look at the hours that I spend in there, it's not a lot. And then you look at the hours on Animal Crossing. It's ridiculous the number of hours I've spent in that since April. Let's blame that on Nintendo. And we'll blame it in lockdown, okay? It's not my fault, obviously. But the thing is, I only spend maybe about an hour a day on it. And then you clock up all these hours over the month. And it's quite embarrassing when you actually look at how many hours you've played it. But anyway, let's move on. I don't have any quilting to show you today, so I can't even say let's move on to the quilting section, but I've got fabric to show you that's relevant, so maybe we'll still say this is no, can't say quilting, don't have any quilting. Right, here we go. I'm having a wee bit of de-stash of some of my fabrics, and that's why earlier on I mentioned my eBay shop to you, because that's where I'm listing them all. We'll start off with one of these bits. Right, this bit here is from a Lewis and Irene range. Now, this is a fat quarter here, but I do have half a metre of it because I can open it up, it's got two sides. So there is half a metre of it listed on eBay, but if you want smaller bits, I'm happy to cut it up. I have listed it as fat eighths, and just in case you don't know, I know if you're already a sewer, if you quilt, you'll know, but that's a fat eighth. And I've listed these on eBay at that size at £1.50. But if you wanted 2 fat eighths, I'll send you a fat quarter. And if you wanted 4 fat eighths, you would get the full metre because this is double-sided. I'm going to unfold it so you know what I'm talking about rather than it double-sided. There you go. Okay? That's half a metre. Now, this is a Lewis and Irene range, and it's really nice. It's got a metallic print on it, and it's got some polar bears and reindeer. It's very, very wintry, actually. But I'm just not going to use it. So, I've got that listed on there. But if you, I don't know, maybe just during lockdown, you want to try a wee bit of EPP. Maybe if you wanted to try a bit of English paper piecing, but you don't have any supplies, you could get a couple of wee bits of fabric at £1.50. But I've got more than one of this range. I've got the darker one, and they've all got metallic print on them. And then there's this one as well. There's little snowflakes on that one. That's a darker version of that one. And then there's, this is a wee bit late, but you can make something for next Christmas. Santa and the reindeer flying through the sky. But even if you just wanted to buy a couple of wee bits of fabric just to try out some paper piecing, it saves you having to pay for a full fat quarter, doesn't it? You could just buy a couple of fat eighths. I've also got some, this is Dashwood Studios, this one. I've got some Dashwood Studios, the same. There's a few prints from each range, but they do some lovely fabrics, but I'm just not going to use them all. One thing lockdown has shown me is actually how much I can make, maybe if I stayed off Animal Crossing. But the number of hours I spend in that game, I craft a lot more than I play that game. I know that. My husband might laugh at me how many hours I put into that game, but there you go. And there's that nice wee pink one as well. But I'll put the link below if that's something you're interested in. Now, see on eBay, you can tick a box on eBay when you sell stuff, you can sell it internationally. So if you live in Europe now or anywhere else in the world, eBay work out what your postage will be, and then I just post it to a place in England, like a big warehouse in England, and then they post it on to you. But all your customs and taxes and things like that are prepaid when you do it that way. But see if that shipping works out too expensive, if say, I don't know, if you're in Canada or Australia and you wanted a couple of bits of fabric, but it's going to cost you £20 for shipping, let me know and I'll see if I can set it up so I work out what the shipping is, because I would only charge you the actual shipping costs. And if you get charged for customs at your end of the country, but you're not going to get charged on 2 or 3 wee bits of fabric, are you, when it's only £3 or £4 you're paying? I know into the UK, I think we're allowed to £15 in, but I think that includes your postage as well. But I don't know what it is in other countries. But so it's just something to keep in mind if you're looking for a bit of fabric. I've got more on there, but I'm not going to bore you and show you them all, okay? Right, I think that's all I've got to share with you today. I'm going to go get my breakfast, even though it is 1:30. And I will see you all soon. Bye. Hello, I'm back again. I was sitting eating my granola there and I remembered I haven't told you who won the prizes, the knit-along prizes. I'm such an idiot. Anyway, here we go. I put all the names and wrote them all on a list, and I picked 2 numbers out using a random number generator. And the winner of the big bag, it's got a boxy bottom, and there is 2 double pointed needle cozies inside, one grey and one patterned that match they both match the bag. Okay, and the winner of this one is Jackie. Her Ravelry username is Tippy Toes. Now I've sent you a PM, Jackie. I sent that on Saturday. I don't know if you've got it yet, but I'm going to have a wee look on Instagram, see if you're on there too. But it was quite nice. There was 2 winners, and one was from Instagram and one was from Ravelry. Now I didn't pick it that way. That's just the way random number generator picked the winners. So, but it was quite nice that there was one from both platforms. So Jackie, if you let me know your address, I can get this in the post to you. Okay? Well done. And thank you to everybody else who took part as well. It's nice seeing your sock designs appear in different colours, because sometimes you just see it in a colour and you go, oh, that colour is perfect for old Shawl. And this one, the smaller size one, again, boxy bottom. And there's 2 little DPN cozies in here. Again, okay. This one is going all the way over to Ontario in Canada. And the winner was Marie-Elise Dugal. But Marie already knows she's won this. She's got back to me. And she knows this is going to be on its way to her very, very soon. And again, thank you to everybody who took part in the knit along. It was really nice to see your photos of your socks appearing in Ravelry on the thread and on Instagram too. There's one other giveaway prize that I've still to send off. Do you remember in the last episode I had given away some fabric bundles, and there was some yarn as well. Now there was the elf oilcloth. That was the very first thing to go, but I wanted to get that away as soon as possible, so it was just the first person that commented in that won it, and that was Jeanette from Crafty Clegg Creations. Now I posted that to Jeanette. She'll have that by now. It's a wee weeks and weeks and weeks ago. And the fabric bundles, I think there was 2 fabric bundles, and there was some yarn that one went to Canada, one went to Australia, and one went off to Italy as well. So they're all away, but there's one more yarn bundle I'm still waiting to hear from you. So if you are Nicola Wood 1066, or if you know Nicola Wood 1066, give her a wee nudge, tell her I've got her yarn. It was the Stylecraft Aran that she won. So if she wants it, she can let me know. Maybe I should go and comment in her post and let her know that she should contact me, because I think I was supposed to do that, but I get sidetracked because everybody else just get in touch with me. But maybe I should go let Nicola know. If I can find her comment on YouTube, I'll let her know. Just while I mentioned Crafty Clegg Creations, did you watch her Vlogmas? It was really, really good. Everything that she's going through just now, her and her husband are going through, and she turned up every day with a smile on her face and brimming with positivity. So thank you very much, Jeanette, for that. You were one of my favourites as well to watch over the holidays. And I think that really is all I've got to share with you today. So what I'm going to do is wish you all a very happy new year, and I hope 2021 is much kinder to you than 2020 was. Okay, thank you. Bye.